And in this video, we're going to take a look at number 23 Florida State versus number 22 Wake Forest's top 25 ACC matchup. And I'm going to turn it over to Trey and he'll give his initial thoughts on the game.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yep, Florida State, Wake Forest in Tallahassee. Florida State undefeated, Wake Forest 1 loss to Clemson. That was a pretty good game, close game, went to, I think, double overtime, right?
Yeah, double overtime.
Yeah, good game. Wake Forest just, Clemson made one more play than Wake Forest did, and that ended up costing them the game. But, yeah, we got a Florida State favored by 73.4%. The spread is 6.5. Money line plus 210 Wake Forest, minus 260 Florida State. Over under 66. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So you've been impressed with the way Wake Forest has started their season so far?
Other than that Liberty game 2 weekends ago, I think they've been pretty all right. They've handled business. I even like the way they played Clemson. They took them to double overtime, like we said earlier. They lost by 6 in double overtime, and they were right there. They had the game. Just Sam Hartman made one bad throw. I think it was like 4th and 7, and they needed it. He didn't make it, and they had a chance to win the game. I mean, they were right there. If they get that touchdown and they have a chance for a 2-point opportunity and they get that, they win the game 52-51. It just didn't happen, but they were there at the end of the game. They had a chance to win, and yeah, I like the way they played so far.
In that game, I was impressed with the amount of throws that was thrown in the one-on-one coverage with both teams doing it. Particularly Wake Forest, they got some tall receivers. A.T. Perry, 6'5", Jamal Banks, 6'4", and Donovan Green at 6'2". So they took advantage of the height in that football game, and they put up a lot of points between both teams.
Yeah, they were just throwing balls up one-on-one. Just hey, my guy's better than yours. My guy's taller than yours, and he's going to make the play. Specifically, Wake Forest, like you said, they had a 3-headed monster at wide receiver. The shortest of which is 6'2". They got a tall tight end. He's like 6'5", 6'6". So they got a lot of height, and I think they're going to try to take advantage of that again this week. Let's see if they can do it.
And Florida State, they came out of the gate really strong this year. They're 4-0. They beat Duquesne 47-7, and then Boston College at 44-14. They had some close victories, none of the other 2 games. But they came about it the right way. It was good to see them kind of get that blowout in the Boston College game, as the other 2 have been close. And it might show the signs of a maturing team to be able just to put their foot on the pedal and keep going. But this team is, led offensively by Jordan Travis. The ball is going to go through him. And he's got 5 touchdown passes, 1 pick, 65% completion rate. And then the 3-headed running back, Trayshawn Ward, Trey Benson, and Lawrence Toafili. It's a very dynamic running back group. Trayshawn Ward is very shifty. He doesn't have the fastest open field speed, but he's got good vision, quick movement. And then Trey Benson is kind of the freak of nature. He could get a little better with some of his vision sometimes. But when he gets in the open field, he's hard to bring down, and he's really fast. And then in the receiving core, it seemed like it's been a different player every week that's kind of stepped up. In the LSU game, it was Ontario Wilson that, was stepping up, making the plays. And in the Louisville game, it was, Johnny Wilson. And then last week, you had Darian Williamson step up. So it's not just the one guy doing it. It's been a different guy that's kind of stepped it to the table. And there's a key player out for Florida State's, or potentially could be out for Florida State's defense in the game. You want to talk about him?
Yeah, Jared Verse. We're not sure if he's going to be out yet or not. He is their leading sack getter this year. Transfer from Albany this year. He's been really good. He didn't play last week, and he's still questionable for this week as far as we've seen. We haven't seen anything saying he's out or playing. Haven't seen if he's cleared it or not. I'm hoping we'll hear something, later in the week. But that's a big piece if he's out. If he's ever played, that's even bigger for Florida State.
And before we started shooting this, we literally checked everything, tried to see if we could find anything on Jared Verse, and there's nothing on him, nothing that says he's out, nothing that says he's going to play.
Yeah, the latest update was that he was out at Boston College. I mean, that was last weekend. So nothing for this weekend yet. But like I said, hopefully, between today and, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe we'll hear something.
And I feel like if Florida State can get him in the game, that'll be a big boost for the defense, as he's one of those pass rushers that can just be very dynamic and could potentially make that game-changing play or apply, pressure and get Sam Hartman off his feet and maybe hurry his throw just a little bit. Sam Hartman's just very good as a quarterback for Wake Forest. And I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, he's been pretty good the last couple of years. I've been pretty high on Sam Hartman. I know he's at Wake Forest. They don't have a lot of talent around him, and he's still, lived up to and surpassed the hype. So, like I said, Wake Forest, they don't get a lot of big name talent over. They don't get a lot of the 4 or 5 stars, but they may do what they got. They compete in the SEC or ACC. They hang with Florida State. I think they even beat them last year. So it's not like they can't hang with some of the bigger boys in the ACC, and a big part of that is because of Hartman.
And what do you think about the receiver distribution here?
I mean, the top 3 receivers have 16 catches, 15 catches, and 14 catches. Then their fifth leading yards in receiving is 16 catches. He spreads the ball around. They got 5 or 6 guys that he's going to throw the ball to, and you just don't know who it's going to go to. I mean, it would be different if you had a guy who had like 30 catches and this guy had like 8 or 9, but it's evenly distributed. They've got, like I said, they've got like 5 or 6 guys that he can throw the ball to and he trusts to throw the ball to.
And last year, A.T. Perry, I believe, had 15 touchdown catches for Wake Forest. So certainly they know how to use that big 6'5" frame of his to 71 catches, 1,293 yards, and 15 touchdowns. So they certainly know how to take advantage of a big body receiver and turn it to points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's another thing. 6'5" for Perry, 6'4" Banks, and 6'2" Green. Like that's some big body receivers that Sam Hartman's just going to throw it up to, and he thinks, and obviously they have been at certain points better than the other team's corners. So we're going to see how Florida State manages that. I don't know if they're going to double team one or put a safety help over top. I don't know how they're going to do that, but if they have it in man-to-man coverage, I feel like Hartman's going to take advantage of some of those. He's going to try to anyways.
And for all the good we can say about the offense, I don't have too much good to say on the defensive side of the ball. Against Clemson, they were kind of sitting back, and blitzing 3 or rushing 3, rushing 4. Yeah, they did dial up the occasional blitz, but they was just sitting back, kind of letting Clemson, basically have their way down the football field. And I don't think they can do that against Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis has really stepped up his game as a quarterback, and he's starting to make more decisive throws down the field. So if you just sit back and let him have his way, he's going to dot you up on defense. Plus, he's a real threat to, take off with the football too. But if Wake Forest wants any chance in this game, they have to find a way to dial up some pressure from somewhere. And I think that pressure could potentially come from Malik Mustafa as a defensive back with 2.5 sacks. So obviously it gets in there on some blitz plays, and that could potentially change the tide in Wake Forest's favor if he can create a sack or 2.
Yeah, but like you said, Mustafa's a defensive back, and you don't want to blitz him too much in this game because, like you said, Florida State, you don't know who's gonna step up game to game. You've had 3 or 4 different guys already step up in a different game, so if you rush him, then I'm assuming Travis is just gonna take what you give him. He's gonna throw it to whoever receiver he's guarding, and just throw it where he came from. So if you do that, he might just carve him up that way. I think they're gonna have to do it from the linebacker core. They're gonna have to dial up some pressure, rush 5 or 6 guys, maybe even rush 5 and leave a spy for Travis. Because like you said, Travis will run and he can do it.
So what's your predictions for the game? Who are you taking, and what's the score?
I think I'm going to go with Florida State to win. It's at home. They're playing really good. I'm going to give them a lot of credit. I'm going to give Norvell credit. In years past, they've been more than pretty bad. And he's got this team turned around. I know they haven't played, the stiffest of competition yet, but I think they're going to step up to this game, and I think they're going to take it not so lightly. Then they're going to be, pretty pissed off that Wake Forest beat them last year the way they did. And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win 37-24. Florida State gets to win at home to go to 5-0 and potentially break into the top, 15 or 16 of the AP top 25.
I'm going to take Florida State. I know their points per game for the year is at 18.8, but when this game is done, I got a feeling Wake Forest is going to make that total go up a little bit. I'm going to take Florida State wins a close one, 37-31, and I think you're going to see Hartman at times step up, make those one-on-one throws we've been talking about. It's going to lead to a couple big touchdowns, and I think you're also see Jordan Travis do what makes Jordan Travis, good. And ultimately, I think Florida State at home, the fan base is riled up right now with the 4-0 start. This is getting to a stretch of some tough games. You got NC State next week on the road, and then you got Clemson after that. So I think Florida State really needs to find a way to dig down and win this game at home as they're starting to get to that cruel part of the schedule. But that's our picks and predictions and analysis of the game. Thanks for watching.